What's up, guys? It's Matt with BleepinJeep. A while back I did a video on how to clean and repair your neutral safety switch. The problem was I started off with it on the bench. I didn't show you how to remove it from the vehicle or where it was, mainly because I couldn't really get the camera up in there. It's kind of a tight spot, it's hard to see. But it just so happens that I have an engine, transmission, and transfer case sitting here. So I figured I would go over that today, how to where your neutral safety switch is and how to remove it. I'm not going to go over cleaning it because I did that already, but this will just be kind of an addition to that video. So let's get started. Okay, so this is your engine. It normally sits in there in a vehicle. Now this is for a straight 6 on a Jeep Cherokee. I can't tell you that this is going to be the same on all vehicles, but it'd probably be very similar. But so that's your engine. Right here in the middle, that is your transmission, and then your transfer case. Now the neutral safety switch is going to be right here. It's going to be right between your two transmission lines on an automatic transmission. If you have a manual transmission, you don't need to worry about this because you won't have a neutral safety switch. But on the Jeep Cherokee, on the automatic transmission, that's it right there between the two transmission lines above the exhaust pipe. It's hard to see. Let me set up this is the outline of it. Let me set up the tripod here. Now I can see why some people had a hard time finding it, because if it's anything like mine, covered in grease and mud, then it looks like it's all one piece. But this is it right here. It's got some wires sticking out of it. The hardest part, look up here, the hardest part, like I said in the original video, is clipping these zip ties, because it's easy right now, but when it's in the engine, when it's in the vehicle, it's hard to get up here and clip these zip ties. But there's one right here, so you need to cut that, and then there's one right here, you'll need to cut that, but it's really hard to get to. I think there's only 2, there might be 3, I'm not sure, but on this one there's only 2. So to get this out, you'll need to cut those zip ties so that you can pull the wire through the bottom once you get this unbolted. And to do that, it would help if you had some really they make some wire cutters, some people call them dikes, that have a really long handles. I don't have them, but I was able to, put my hand down and probably cut this one from the top. Not sure if I came from the top or bottom to cut this one or not, but let's show you how to get this thing off. Okay, so you only need a couple tools, and that's going to be a 12mm socket, screwdriver, and you might need a crescent wrench. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this 12mm bolt right here. It's easy to do when it's you're not hanging upside down trying to get all this out. Okay, now before you start loosening up this nut, there's some tabs right here. You'll need to bend those back. Those just kind of hold this in place. This nut doesn't get tightened all the way down, so you have to have these little tabs to kind of keep it in place. So bend those back, and then probably doesn't even need that because it's pretty loose. You can just loosen it with your fingers, but don't take it all the way off, okay? Just loosen it a little bit, enough to get a screwdriver under here, and you're just going to pry. Let's get some of this dirt off here. You're going to put this behind the nut and pry forward. There's a lot of dirt on there, but it's still coming free. So maybe if you're in a rusty climate, it might have rusted on there, which I hope isn't the case, but just pry it forward. Now I'm at the point where I can't pry it anymore because I don't have any leverage, so I'm going to put something else in there to give me more leverage. think what I really need though is a bigger screwdriver. Let's try this one. I also need something for leverage that will get it out further so that it's pulling. Almost there. There we go. Whew! This one was a lot tougher than the last one, so I can see why some people had some problems getting that off. There's a lot of grime, a lot of muck and dirt. So, but anyway, just get you something to get some leverage on there, like I used here, so I could get some leverage to pull that out. Once you get it off, then it's just a matter of fishing that line through from the top. Fish it down, pull it down, and then once you get this sucker out, go watch my other video on how to fix it. So I guess I should go over how to put it back on. You're just going to slide it on like it was, whack it down. Okay, now you're going to tighten that nut finger tight. It doesn't need to be any tighter than that. And then take a screwdriver or something and bend those tabs back down. Okay, that'll keep that nut from backing off. All that does is just keep that. There's a little collar on here that fits over the shaft. Okay, now you're going to take this and you're going to put the bolt back in and tighten it down. Try to get it where you had it. If you don't know where you had it, it doesn't really matter because you're going to have to test it anyway. Now tighten that down, and I go over this in the other video, so you'll need to watch that. But what you'll do is you'll test it. If it doesn't work, you'll come back, you'll loosen it up a little bit, rotate it one direction or the other, just a little bit, tighten it back down, test it again until you get it right. If you noticed there was an opening, an oblong opening in there, so it gives you some room to rotate this back and forth, and that aligns the pins in their correct position. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.